What does 2013 look like today? Drugs, tacos, and Twitter. Let's talk to Reuters correspondent Ernie Scheider. Starting off with drugs, Eli Lilly looking at a profitable gain in 2013. They say stocks up 4%, coming off a weaker 2012 due to sales decline from cheaper generic drugs out there.
Yeah, generic drugs, that's one thing a drug maker doesn't like to hear and doesn't like their drugs going off patent. So Eli Lilly coming out and saying it's going to have a brighter 2013 is a positive sign, but they're going to control costs and try to increase productivity to get that higher profit. So there's a bit of a mixed bag there right now. It's worried about its popular Cymbalta drug going off patent at the end of this year.
Depression drug, yeah.
And then it's got a schizophrenia drug and an osteoporosis drug going off patent in 2014. So, sort of in the next 24 months, you've got some trouble coming around for Eli Lilly's big cash cow.
All right. They do say they have 13 drugs in late stage testing. Talk us through also the tax credit that comes from the fiscal cliff deal.
Yeah, so the research and development tax credit has been controversial in many parties, but a lot of companies have been using it to cover research and development costs.
Right.
Who knew? But they've also been complaining that Congress only will extend it for 1 year at a time.
Right.
So if you're developing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years out, say a major drug like Cymbalta, and you're an Eli Lilly, that doesn't help with your planning at all. Particularly here in Eli Lilly's case, because the fiscal cliff deal was approved in 2013, the second day of the year, they weren't able to really use it for 2012. So it sort of confuses them as to whether or not they'll be able to use it this year. They're saying they don't really know how much they'll be able to apply.
All right, we're moving on to tacos now. Let's talk Chipotle. Story out of Barron's that Miller Tabak is saying this is a big pick for 2013, that they're going to have menu price increases for the first half of 2013, and they're going to roll out soft corn tortillas, Ernie. If that doesn't do it, I don't know what else would.
Exactly. Chipotle has been the darling, food stock on Wall Street for a long time. It sort of reminds you of what Boston Market was in the 1990s as well. And so coming out saying that they think Chipotle will expand to more stores, bring out new products, like you say, with corn tortillas. Will this work? I mean, I sort of look at it as a food IPO when you contrast it with like a Taco Bell, and its owner has a much lower stock price. It's around $3.80 right now a share. Chipotle, I think that's something people should keep in mind. They're also saying that food prices should stay flat for certain food items like dairy. As the world population increases, demand will only rise, and that will bring prices for food with it. So I'm a little suspect that they expect food prices to stay flat.
Well, you and David Einhorn, of course, speaking of Taco Bell, because he's notoriously short-selling this and saying that, Taco Bell's going to eat his lunch.
Yeah, we hang out all the time.
Yeah, you hang out all the time. You shouldn't compare it to like a Panera because it doesn't really compete exactly in that space. They've also got this Asian concept, Southeast food, though, which they're going to expand.
Yeah, it's good to have diversity away from your core market. That's what prompted McDonald's initially to form them, and then sort of send them off and do their own IPO.
Shop House, it's called, by the way. That's their Asian concept.
The Asian, yes.
Exactly. All right, moving on then to the Twitter portion of the show.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Twitter. Hashtag Forbes story that says, despite the rocky tech IPOs that we've seen, and we'll go through those, the Twitter could be using 2013, the back end of it at least, to prep for a possible IPO in 2014?
It is the popular thing to do now if you're online as well. But I think, some questions remain in terms of how do you actually make money. Twitter has sponsored ads they are charging people for, but, there's sponsored tweets, I should say. They don't have sort of the ads that have been sort of become popular on Facebook and Google and elsewhere. So how do you really make the billions in revenue that have become, that Wall Street expects from publicly traded companies?
I think that the story started looking at the perimeters, sort of avenues around it, saying there's been a management change there. And could this be readying it? That it's, in terms of the photo, Instagram, it's got a challenge now. It's got its own app challenging Instagram. It has a partnership with Pinterest. Could these things sort of be adding up to making it look, more appetizing?
It all certainly helps, but at the end of the day, you need solid revenue.
Let's just quickly look at, speaking of those tech IPOs.
Sure.
First at Facebook, of course, where it's been since it IPO'd. They're, of course, definitely not back up to the $38.
Well, Facebook, same thing with Twitter, had the problem with revenue for a while. CEO Mark Zuckerberg kind of gave Wall Street a scare, but I think he's sort of
inching back there.
Proving that mobile can work for them.
Zynga.
Well, that's
flattened out at the bottom there,
Flattened out, Farmville, a lot of their other games, again, the same money problem. It looks like they might be going into Vegas and doing some online stuff that'll really help them broaden out their portfolio.
Groupon, very quickly, let's take a look.
It's no longer a daily deal.
It's no longer a daily deal for sure. And finally, LinkedIn, since it IPO'd.
Well, LinkedIn's,
yeah.
you know, it's in a nice niche because it serves a product that professionals want. You know,
Right.
people want to be able to connect with each other. Also, it has a lot of data on, so it can target a lot of ads to its users. So that's really helped them.
All right, Ernie, stay put. I'm going to move to the hot spot, and as I do, remember to watch those snaps at the bottom of your screen for more headlines of the day. Let's talk Apple a day. Down 3% today. There was a report out from Strategy Analytics. Is the firm saying that Samsung is going to widen its global lead on smartphone sales for 2013, that it'll have a 33% share versus Apple's 21%. And also, Finish Line did not quite cross the because it had disappointing surprise loss. It evidently is botching trends, not really getting it right in the trends. And it redesigned its website before the holidays, and it was a big flop. And now it's actually going back to its old website design post-holidays. Stock's down over 4% today, Finish Line. Its rival Foot Locker's up over 1%. I'm going to go back to the Market Monitor, meet back up with my friend Ernie Scheider here. And finally, Ernie, a lot of folks over the Christmas season probably went down to SeaWorld, where they saw this guy as well. What he or she is trying to say there is that a private sale for SeaWorld might be more financially lucrative than an IPO. Yes, 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 yes. Could it be? What do you think? SeaWorld filed for an IPO in December, but now Blackstone, which controls SeaWorld, is maybe sniffing around for another PE firm to pick it up?
I mean, if you can make more money, why not? You know, they bought it from Anheuser-Busch in December 2009 for about $2.3 billion. An IPO could bring them about $4 billion. If you can get more from a private sale, why wouldn't you look around? So I think this just helps them do the due diligence, and it's the responsible thing to do if you're the owner.
Looking at Blackstone stock there. That was SeaWorld's financial advisor, by the way. That we had.
Great advice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, amusement park stocks generally have been doing pretty well, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's where you take your kids. If you got young kids and you need a break, you know, you take them to the amusement park. It's a nice thing to do, and they certainly don't skimp on the prices when you're there. So
That's true.
It's a great way to bring in money.
All right, we'll soon watch and see if our flipper friend there, how he or she makes out financially. All right, Ernie Scheider, thank you so much. Remember, folks, follow us on Twitter at Reuters Insider, and check out our YouTube channel, Reuters.com/ReutersTV. Have a great weekend. I'm Lisa Bernhard. This is Reuters.